Hi guys, it's Omer from MMOs.com and do a quick first impressions gameplay video for Blades and Rings. Free to play mobile 3D MMORPG developed and published by 37 Games. I'll spend about 10 to 15 minutes running around checking this game out, make some comments. If you guys want to play Blades and Rings or learn more about it, do check the full review on MMOs.com on the link below. So let's get started right now. We can play as a warrior or an archer, two playable classes, deals range damage. Who would have thought? She's kind of like a fairy lady, and looks like the classes are gender locked. So let's go play archer. Let's get that range DPS, and obviously the better looking character. Lakeisha, we got Walker, we got Carly. I'll go with this Sydney. She's a Sydney, right? Isn't she? Are her boobs moving on their own? Yes, they are. In typical Chinese browser game fashion, though it's not a browser game. But look at the boob physics. Top keck. Good at range battles and so forth. It's said that many rings are hidden inside the dwarf treasure. That is almost a coherent sentence, but not quite there just yet. We got a cool looking loading screen over here. Oh, we got some Chinese. Oh no, that's English. Alright, they have voice acting. They tried. So I think the goal of the game is to collect these 27 or 37 possible rings in the game. I think it's 27. Let's go ahead and skip this for now. I think we talked about voice acting in MMORPGs in our podcasts. Generally speaking, it doesn't really add too much value, especially when it's, the accents are pretty thick and it's very clearly, not done by a native English speaker. Set off for the rings. So we click on that and our character moves automatically. Cool thing right away, there is a persistent world. The interface does seem pretty cluttered though. Alright, I'm looking at her chest, but let's see. Collect more rings! Alright, I think again, the goal of the game is to collect those 27 rings. And there's a persistent world. Holy shit, that just turned into a massive dude. Alright, let's go kill some rabid wolves. Again, I'm not really doing anything in my hands yet. The unicorns used to be mild, but now they've become irritable and attack random. Yo, those are some effed up unicorns, man. Unicorns attacking random people? That's hella effed up. Alright, let's go click on this. And I'm pretty sure these are not unicorns. Nothing here is a unicorn just yet. We kind of saw like some elks. So it's impressive that they actually have the voice acting, even though it's not really great. One thing I do like though right away is that it is a persistent world. Though it feels very much like a Chinese browser game, more so than a mobile game. Though I'm sure a lot of those browser games are making their way to mobile. In the same sense. And these guys are all grinding over here too. So auto combat is enabled, and apparently we killed a couple. There we go. We're attacking them automatically. My hands are, my fingers rather, are basically entirely off my screen. When you get new gear, you can auto equip them. And the thing about these games is, we've seen games, a whole bunch of 3D beautiful looking games like this that also have the auto combat. And it does get a little cheesy sometimes, but if you go into it not expecting like a traditional persistent world MMORPG, where something you expect in a PC game, you'll be disappointed. But if you go into this kind of expecting the auto combat, it's it's not that bad then, because if you view these games and these style games as something like a cookie clicker or Adventure Capitalist or Clicker Heroes, if you view them as those style games, you can actually get a lot of fun out of these games. Claim. I've never actually played one of these too long. I have played games like Clicker Heroes though. Yo, the guy's hearing strange sounds from the cellar. He sounds like a mega pansy based on his voice. So we're going to the cellar right now to, I guess, clear the cellar of demons or whatever. Oh man, these guys came straight out of the ground. Let's see some combat. Smell of human, haha. So many monsters. And again, we can actually fight these manually if you want by clicking on the button on the bottom right. You move with the stick on the left and attack with the right. Feel the power of the ring god. You click on that bad boy and you transform into a giant dude with different abilities, and it makes you feel mega powerful. I win! We did it. We win. We beat the game. Roll credits, boys. We done did it. And these are all basically tutorial quests in the beginner area. I've gotten a ring. Man, I do think they should just, honestly, in a game like this, they should get rid of the voice acting. It adds nothing to the game. And it kind of does seem a bit cheesy because it's not a native English speaker. And it still shows that they're actually putting effort into the game. The human, dwarf, elf. These are all different chapters. What do I click? That's an expansion pack. We can't do dwarves yet or elves. Let's just do a human for now. I get some ring info. Let's get out of there. Get out. Let's go back to the game. And again, almost everything is done with point and click. In fact, on their page, they advertise that it's got auto combat. And they take auto combat to a next level, actually. They have an auto combat system that's actually offline auto combat. So you don't have to be in the game to be leveling automatically. You can do it while completely offline. So if you view this game as a more cookie clicker, cookie hero style game, yeah, you could have some fun with it, But honestly, it does feel like one of the traditional Chinese browser games just got ported over to PC. But again, the game is over 500,000 downloads. We've seen people in the game. So there is something here for people for looking for those kinds of games. And again, people do play clicker hero style games for a reason. Clicky clicker, clicker heroes, and so forth. Equip that bad boy. But you got the CP on the top left, and that just means your strength power. Auto-pathing continues. Again, you can use the abilities on your own, but you don't really need to. It's all super, super easy. But I have, played one of these games. I let them running on my PC for a while. These games typically do get harder. Once you reach around level 100, 150, the game really does get challenging to a point where you can't necessarily auto-combat all the time. And for the more difficult stuff, you do need to play manually, dodging attacks and so forth. The auto-combat is really there for you to get past all the early content, and it lets you grind when you're not actually playing the game. That's really the meaning of the game's auto-combat system. But being that it's one of these Chinese-developed games, you see a VIP system on the top left, unactivated. Typically, Chinese browser and mobile games tend to be a bit more on the pay-to-win side. But because I don't think there's any open-world PvP, like non-consensual PvP, that it's not going to be a giant deal breaker. Whoa! Piece of ultimate equipment. We got it. I'm liking her. My fingers. You guys should be able to guess where my fingers are right now. Okay, her voice acting is not bad. It's pretty solid, actually.
CP has increased again.
Oh boy, our CP increased, boys. You guys know what CP stands for, right? We got Omer. It's almost my name, but not quite. And almost all the early gameplay is gonna be done clicking on this stuff.
You can now challenge Spiritus.
Let's go do that. We're clicking on this.
Collect rings from
It's always a little annoying with these games because I feel like the interface does feel a bit overwhelming. At level 180, you get cool wings. Nice. These Chinese games love their wings, as we've discovered before. So yeah, I think there's 27 rings in the game to collect, but obviously it doesn't end. There's no end to the game because it is one, So we gotta fight this guy manually. Let's go ahead and do that. My ability is actually disabled right now. Oh god, let's get out of there. Oh, let's get out of the circle. Oh, look at that sick juke. So when you do actually like little higher level content, you will have to dodge abilities, and that's where I guess the active gameplay takes part. But beyond that, again, it's super easy because it's all basically automated, and the combat is responsive. Graphically speaking, it's not nearly as pretty as games like Lineage 2 Revolution, but then again, that game is not really out in the West. But it's not as pretty as a lot of these newer mobile games. Though this game is still relatively new as of this video. It came out in November of 2016. Alright, we gotta kill this guy. He's going down. Super easy. We're just gonna keep dodging. Again, this is like the first little mini boss in the game. Got that Ring of Aura and unlocks a new map. Persistent World is nice too, because a lot of these MMORPGs end up feeling like super linear when they're stage-based. So at least you got the Persistent World here. Already level 14. Again, leveling is super, super quick. Click on that VIP. Let's see the pay-to-win good stuff. Alright, is there a higher level VIP we can see? Oh man, 99 bucks. That's too much. Alright, we're not doing this obviously, but let's see the VIP menu. Can I see more? Because a lot of these games have multiple tiers of VIP, and it can get pretty redonkadonk in terms of like how much power you get. I remember I did random math for Forsaken World Mobile, and you could spend like 200 grand or something crazy in that game on the VIP tiers. That was a world map. I guess over here we can select a new area. Interface is kind of nice, so you can see each zone and what enemies are in each zone and the respawn spots. So this is actually super useful that they have this easily accessible. Let's go to that world map. All right, we're gonna go over new map unlocked. We're going to Grandor. Easy movement, boys. And again, so much autopathing. And the voice acting is still there. It's it wasn't just for the first area. It's still there. Let's go to use it. The builds are kind of cool too. They got decent cooldowns though. But again, we can turn auto combat on, and it's just gonna fight for us. It makes it super. It cheapens experience to a degree. But if you know it's an auto combat game going into it, you can still find something to like. All right. There's a reason people play games like Cookie Clicker. So I can see people playing games like this. Only thing is, I just kind of wish the art style or the gameplay, something about it was a bit more distinctive. Because if you've played Felspire, you've played any of those browser games that we've covered on MMOs.com, it really is like if you've played one, you've almost played them all. They follow the same formula quite accurately and quite consistently. Like these massive spawns of enemies is such a common trope in these games too. Like they're always grouped up together like this. Let's go kill a couple of these. Give me this hunting equipment. Alright, let's go kill these. Start auto combat. We can just auto kill these for a little while. We gotta kill 10 of them per request. Killing them in mass does feel kind of cool with your abilities, though. I mean, there's a recharge button over there. We got a ring going in the top right. Daily treasures. I'm curious if there's a way to actually customize our build, our characters beyond just. I clicked on myself. Like, do we get stat points? I don't think so. There are mounts in the game. These games typically do have them. You can auto train your mounts, but you need diamonds to auto train them. Otherwise, you gotta do it manually. We have to get this, but we don't have that right now, so get out of there. And again, the game plays itself even while you're in the menus, as long as auto combat is enabled. And it's just weird because they do advertise that they have an auto combat system that works while you're offline, so you don't even have to be online to be doing auto combat. So it's really aiming for that auto, built-in bot gameplay. And, that's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, but I think if you're looking for something to just kill some time, these games, I don't want to be too harsh on them because I do think they're all pretty cheap and they're all similar, and it's not my cup of tea. But if you know what you're getting into, I can see people having fun with this. I spent a lot of time on Cookie Clicker, all right, and that's an equally mindless game. Or actually, you could probably say it's more mindless than this, But I played that game, so I can't be too critical because people do play these kinds of games and they enjoy them. You look at games like League of Angels and stuff; they have like over 1,000 servers and they're busy. I mean, the game works. There's no obvious bugs, but the only thing that nags me is it's not my cup of tea, and the auto combat cheapens it for me. But I'm sure some people will like it because it just feels like I can do all this. Like I'm killing a goblin leader, man, without moving my hand. Mission complete. But again, you can't criticize the easiness too much because it gets very difficult later on. I mean, think about it. If it was always this easy, nobody would pay money to hit the cash shop, People hit the cash shop when they hit a wall. And you will hit a wall in difficulty later on, and you'll be able to, either pay to get past that wall or just play a lot or let the game keep grinding for you a lot. That's going to be the way you can pass that wall later on. But yeah, this is Blades and Rings. If you guys want to learn more about it or play it yourself, do check the full review on MMOs.com on the link below. I love the guy in the background. His name is the Earth Wizard. They couldn't even think of a name for this poor dwarf. They just called me the Earth Wizard. My parents hated me. They just called me Earth Wizard. Such a silly name. Oh man, we turned to a giant dude again. And even this, it just seems kind of cheesy for me to transform it to like this giant dude in golden armor. Like, it doesn't even seem like a girl. My character's a girl, but I transform it to like a male-looking character. But yeah, it is what it is. It's Blade and Rings by 37 games. Anyway, guys, later.